thought Sark called a brilliant game. Even when Ewers was out and Hudson Card had to come in, I thought Sark was on top of it with his play calling. But guys like Will Anderson Jr. getting stupid penalties and the Dallas Turner penalty that ended up knocking Quinn out of the game. There were just so many things within that game yesterday, Paul, that it was just surprising to me how many dumb penalties that we never see out of Alabama, how many dumb penalties, especially from who they came from.
But Matt, I think it comes from being Alabama, and I never really bought in that this was a big game for Alabama because the A&M game on the schedule was a game that was going to matter. The predictable games are on the schedule, and this was like 5th or 6th or maybe 7th on the list. So I don't care what Nick Saban says or anybody else says. These guys watch the same things that everyone else pays attention to, whether it's on ESPN or listening to whomever. And
YouTube, they watch YouTube. If you,
of course, they probably do. I wouldn't doubt it. And so they're human, and they tune coaches out. And in the end, on top of that, let's blame the adults too. What in the world was Bill O'Brien calling yesterday? I mean, there were moments in the game I was like, what is this guy doing? And why is he calling that play? And on the other hand, a name that did not get mentioned much yesterday, but I'm just taking a gander here that he had a lot more to do with this and maybe give him credit. Remember that move when Sark hired an analyst, Gary Patterson, on the defensive side.
Nailed
it. I think that was the key to the game.
There were numerous times during the game where they would cut to the sideline, which, by the way, is a guy who worked in DFW for 5 years and covered the Gary Patterson Rose Bowl teams with Andy Dalton and this guy who built this program all the way up. It was just odd seeing Gary Patterson in burnt orange with the Longhorn logo. But you can bet that the knowledge, defensive knowledge that guy has and brings to the table is invaluable. And it was clear on numerous occasions Saturday where he had an impact on that defense because you could see him on the sidelines clapping and high-fiving people like, see, I got you, and I got them. And it was as pedestrian as I've seen Bryce Young look until they needed him to be Superman, and he does it every single time. He was dead to rights on that corner blitz. He somehow got out of that. That was the play of the game to lead to the game-winning field goal.
And, so what the overreactions will be plentiful this week. Was Alabama overrated? Well, of course they're overrated from the standpoint of, team of the century. But I've seen a lot of this at Alabama, Matt.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.